Hey garden lovers, it's officially spring, and if you're anything like me, you're itching to get outside and make your garden pop with color. But there's one little problem that always seems to sneak up on us: weeds. They pop up overnight, stealing nutrients from our precious plants and just generally cramping our garden's style. If you've been spending hours pulling them out by hand, or maybe you've tried every store-bought weed killer on the shelf with little success, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. I've got you covered today with some game-changing spring weeding hacks that'll keep your garden looking fresh and weed-free all season long. First up, let's talk about mulch. It's like laying down a cozy blanket over your garden beds that not only looks amazing but also keeps those pesky weeds at bay. Mulch is a must-have in every gardener's toolkit. It serves as a protective blanket for your garden, preventing weeds from growing by blocking sunlight. Think of it like cutting off their food supply. A good, thick layer of mulch around 2 to 3 inches deep is what you're aiming for in the garden. There are all sorts of mulch options out there, but my heart always goes out to the organic kind. Think wood chips, straw, or bark. They look so natural and charming, and as they break down, they add valuable nutrients back into the soil. For extra weed blocking power, especially if you're dealing with a particularly stubborn patch of weeds, try this little trick. Lay down a layer of newspaper or cardboard directly on the soil before you add your mulch. Let's face it, sometimes we need a little extra help in the weed fighting department, and that's where vinegar comes in. Now I'm talking about plain old white vinegar, the kind you probably already have in your pantry. It's inexpensive, readily available, and best of all, it's a natural way to tackle those persistent weeds. Vinegar contains acetic acid, and this acts like a drying agent, zapping those weeds right at their core. It disrupts their cellular structure, causing their leaves and stems to wither away. Here's a little tip to make your vinegar solution even more effective. Mix it with a bit of dish soap. Just a teaspoon or two will do. The soap helps the vinegar stick to the weeds better, ensuring they get a good dose of weed-fighting power. For best results, apply your vinegar solution on a sunny day. The sun actually intensifies the vinegar's effect, giving those weeds a 1-2 punch they won't recover from. But a word of caution: vinegar is non-selective, meaning it can harm any plant it comes into contact with. So be precise with your application and avoid spraying it on your beloved flowers and veggies. Okay, this last hack is for those hard-to-reach areas where weeds love to hide. Those cracks in your sidewalks, the crevices between patio stones, or along the edges of your garden beds where you just can't seem to get them all. We're talking about the power of boiling water and salt, a dynamic duo that's been keeping gardens weed-free for generations. Boiling water delivers an instant shock to those weeds, causing the cells within them to burst. It's a quick and humane way to send them packing. Adding salt to that boiling water is like taking out an insurance policy against those weeds coming back. Salt acts as a natural desiccant, drawing moisture out of the soil and making it inhospitable for those pesky invaders. Here's how to make your own weed-busting concoction. Simply mix 1 cup of salt into 2 gallons of boiling water. Stir it well to make sure that salt dissolves completely, and then carefully pour it over those weed-infested areas. Just be sure to avoid splashing any on your precious plants. So there you have it, friends. 3 simple, effective, and budget-friendly ways to tackle those pesky weeds and keep your garden looking its absolute best this spring. Remember, a little effort goes a long way, and tackling those weeds early on will save you a whole lot of headaches down the road. Now, before you head out to conquer those weeds, I want to share one last tip. Invest in a good set of weeding tools. A sturdy hand trowel, a sharp hoe, and a comfortable pair of gardening gloves will make your weeding experience so much more enjoyable. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks to keep your garden looking its best.